Okay, welcome to this deep dive. Today we're jumping straight into something pretty fundamental, I think, navigating those inner doubts, those fears we all have.
Yeah, the ones people sometimes call inner demons, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, exactly. Those voices, that whisper about whether you're good enough or maybe worry too much about what other people think.
Mm-hmm. They really know how to tap into our vulnerable spots, don't they?
They absolutely do. And the source material we're digging into today is this really thought-provoking essay. It offers a distinct perspective on handling these internal struggles.
Right. It kind of suggests maybe we've been thinking about taming them in, let's say, not the most effective way.
Precisely, not the usual battle them into submission idea.
Yeah, it pushes back on that.
So our mission today really is to unpack the core ideas from this essay. We want to find some actionable insights for you on how to navigate these, incredibly common internal landscapes better.
Okay, so where does the essay start its argument? It really challenges that notion, that popular idea that you deal with these demons by somehow achieving, like, internal transcendence.
Right, like just rising above them or powering through until they just vanish.
Exactly. And the essay argues that approach often just doesn't stick.
It doesn't deliver lasting results.
No. It says these inner voices, they zero in on our insecurities, right?
Yeah.
They feed on our fears about what others think.
And crucially, their arguments aren't really based in objective truth.
Not at all. And what's insightful, I think, is the point that trying to just bypass them or ignore them or even believing you've somehow graduated past them,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't make them go away for good. The essay observes that as soon, as you're under pressure or maybe needing to process something deeply,
They pop right back up.
they can, yeah.
Yeah.
It's presented more as something you don't just get over permanently. That's part of the landscape.
Okay. So, if transcendence or just eliminating them isn't the goal, according to this essay, what is the way forward then? What does it suggest?
Well, it shifts the focus. Instead of fighting the thoughts themselves, it's more about acknowledging them,
Yeah.
understanding their nature, like seeing them as these irrational, fear-based responses.
Okay. So seeing them for what they are.
Exactly. And then consciously, deliberately, cultivating your own response to them.
Cultivating. I like that word. It implies like ongoing effort, doesn't it? Like tending a garden, maybe, rather than just winning a single fight.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The essay frames your mindset not as this fixed thing, but as something you actively shape.
And if you don't,
Well, if you don't consciously cultivate it, you're sort of left just reacting automatically, right? To external stuff, but also to these internal, often irrational voices.
and the essay says when what you know is true about yourself clashes with the fears these voices amplify, that's where problems can start.
Yeah, that collision point is described as fertile ground for things like anxiety and depression.
Okay, so how do we start cultivating? Where does the essay point us?
It brings in a really simple but powerful tool: awareness.
Awareness, just noticing.
Yes. Awareness is presented as the critical first step. That moment you recognize a thought or a feeling is coming from that irrational, fear-based place.
From the demon voice, not reality.
Right. The moment you see that, you gain some power. The essay suggests that just recognizing, you don't have to automatically believe that voice or act on it.
And understanding that you are separate from it.
That starts to break its hold and creates a little space.
And the essay is really clear, isn't it, that having self-doubt or these kinds of irrational fears, it's not a sign you're broken or weak.
Not at all. It's presented simply as part of being human, something pretty much everyone experiences.
So it's normal.
It's normal, yes.
Yeah.
But while it's natural, the key insight is realizing you don't have to stay stuck on that kind of default setting, just reacting.
Okay, so how do you move beyond that?
It involves making conscious choices about, the information you consume, how you structure your day, even who you spend time with, what you choose to prioritize.
Because the more you just let every negative self-critical thought run wild,
Uh-huh.
the more you're basically reinforcing those negative pathways in your brain, right?
Sure.
Making them feel more and more like the absolute truth.
Exactly. You groove those pathways deeper. And the essay offers a particularly potent thought on this near the end.
Oh, yeah.
This whole process, this cultivation, it isn't about reaching some state where you never have a self-critical thought again.
Or where you stop caring at all what other people think. That was a big point, I thought.
Yes, a really significant point. The essay argues those things. Moments of doubt, caring about external perception, they're just too deeply woven into being human. They're probably not going to disappear entirely.
So you'll likely always have moments of doubt.
Probably. And you'll likely never be completely indifferent to how others see you.
Okay. So what's the takeaway then?
The essay's core insight, the real shift, is that the ultimate choice isn't about silencing those internal voices for good. It's about choosing whether or not you let them dictate your actions.
Ah, the actions. That's the lever.
That's the lever you have control over.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up then. This deep dive into the essay. It really suggests tackling inner doubts isn't about transcendence or making the voices vanish.
No, it's more rooted in awareness, in understanding the often irrational nature of these thoughts.
And then consciously choosing how you respond, whether or not you actually act on them.
Exactly. It kind of normalizes self-doubt as just a natural part of being human, not some flaw you have to surgically remove.
Yeah, not something to be ashamed of, just something to manage.
Right. It's about shifting your energy maybe from trying to quiet all the noise inside to deciding which voices you will or perhaps won't let steer your behavior.
So here's something to maybe sit with after this deep dive, building on that last point from the essay. If we accept, we'll probably never entirely stop hearing these internal voices or stop caring at all what others think. How does shifting your focus, shifting it away from trying to silence the thoughts towards consciously choosing whether or not to act based on them, how might that change your approach day to day?
It's a powerful question to consider.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.